cameras in the 90s go.
Sure.
And as far as getting proof goes, this is way better. So she goes to the library, hides, and waits for closing. So now the voices in her head start taunting her, asking her...
I don't think they're voices. They're just her inner monologue.
It does say voices in her head. And it says, how many photos are you going to be able to take before he catches you? How will you make it out of there alive? Another voice says, you only need one good shot. And it specifically says, another voice says.
It's like the deer hunter.
It says over and over. There are different conflicting voices because another one says, turn and run, turn and run. That's what another one yelled to her. Like they have different... It's got to lend something to her being insane. This is not just one voice.
Does that tie into the end at all? Like, are they psychic monsters or something?
I think perhaps like she's just gone completely off the deep end by the end. Lucy snapped a picture of Mortman while he was eating from a jar of moths.
Yep.
Oh, but foolish Lucy.
Yeah, this is my one note.
The Flash?
Yeah, I just have in all caps, oy vey. Because, another way of putting that, for fuck's sake, Lucy.
Yes.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah,
you had one fucking job.
Spend all your time worried, glad that he's humming when you take the picture so he doesn't hear the click and the whirring. You forgot about the Flash.
And you leave the fucking Flash on?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
My word. Mortman was furious, lumbering blindly after her. She assumes that maybe the bright light hurt his giant doorknob-sized eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's something that happened. But
I believe it.
He's out there yelling, whoever it was, they're not going to get away. Lucy ran, but then fell over a book cart and dropped her camera. Mortman was almost upon her when the phone rang.
Convenient.
Is it even convenient? Because if I'm a monster and I'm in my own place
I'm missing
of
that
work,
call.
Yeah, that call's going to voicemail.
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen.
Why
to
does he feel
tape
compelled
later.
to answer that call?
Because you know it's gonna be like, is the library open on Sunday? Because I want to get the newest.
What time is you open at?
And he answers all the questions, but he's just very impatient.
Yeah.
As Lucy's running away.
Do you have any special events? How much is it to take out a book?
Special events? It's a library. How much? It's the library.
Do you have a day where to take out a book it's cheaper?
Do the library cards come laminated, or is that extra? Because I like my card laminated, but not if it's extra. I'll go somewhere else for that.
Do I need to take my picture for this library card?
Can I bring in my own picture, or do you have to take it?
Do I get any discounts with this card?
Yes, you get books.
When?
Whenever you want, man. It's a library card. I can't explain how libraries work. I'm just a monster.
Don't you work here?
Listen, there's a girl that I'm trying to get after, and she's running down the street here. I need to call you back. Can I get your number?
No, you cannot.
Later that night, the Dark family went out for Chinese food at the mall, and Lucy had her film developed.
Oh, because, she wants to go to the mall so badly because she wants to get the film developed right away. Because she's like, there's a 1 hour photo there, right? Like with Robin Williams, and like, let's get this photo developed so we can prove he's a monster. Yeah. And then Dad's like, yeah, you're right. I'll believe it when I see it. Little fucker.
Yeah, still enabling her a little bit to talk about these monsters and paying for her film development. He's paying for her problem here. The father just looks tired. He just got home from work. He gets out of the car.
I don't want to fucking go out. What's going on?
Yeah, and he goes inside and just wants to sniff whatever the mother's been cooking for supper. And the wife says, "Stop sniffing. There ain't nothing here. Didn't cook anything for you." He's like, "We're gonna go out for supper." And he's like, is it too much to ask that I come home to a meal ready?
It's not the 1950s, Matthew.
No, I know.
He's not Ralph Cramden.
Sure. They don't even go to a fancy place. They just go to the mall for some mall Chinese food.
Yeah, if you're going to go to Chinese food, at least go to, one that's not in a mall.
Yeah. So while they're eating this Chinese food, Lucy just imagines her parents forgiving her.
Yeah, this is a fucking delusion.
Yeah, she's not talking about monsters because she's just in her own little world here. A world where her parents finally start believing her, and they're buying her a new computer, a new bike, letting her stay up until midnight, even on school nights, once they see this picture. But, Nick, when she gets that picture developed, she gets her hands on all of those photos, and she rips through them like a madwoman, letting all except for the one drop to the floor. and in a panic, she holds it up, sees, whoa, this picture came out clear. And that's a surprise, because we didn't think it would come out clear. We thought it would be blurry, it would be a mess.
It'd be like every UFO and Loch Ness Monster picture ever taken.
And it's like, well, it's a little blurry, and my finger's covering up half of it, but here's Mortman, and he's a monster, he's eating
and
moths.
I kept the lens cap on the other half, and I had smeared it in Vaseline earlier.
Yeah. So they have the photo. She shows the photo, except no Mortman. Mortman is just missing.
Not in the picture.
There. So he is the kind of monster that doesn't exist, or does he, as a monster, really just not exist? Is this just Lucy's imagination? Or do you think he's some sort of special being that cannot be photographed?
If we're committing to the reality of the book,
yes,
it's a monster that can, like, either the light caused him to turn invisible as a defense mechanism, or he just can't be photographed. He can't be in mirrors.
Okay.
Something like that. Because that actually, maybe it's the mirror thing. Because, like, you know, cameras, just mirrors and light and all that. It ties into a theory I have later on about, like, what type of monster he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we've seen monsters with special abilities at the beginning of this. Monster that Lucy made up had like chameleon-like qualities.
But that's fake.
That is fake, yes. At this point, the mother voiced her concern for Lucy's mental health. Flash forward to another evening. Aaron and Lucy follow Mr. Mortman home. Lucy saw him change into a monster, eat fish out of his aquarium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Continue.
But before she could show Aaron, because she forgot the whole reason Aaron was there, she fell back off of the wheelbarrow that she was standing on and made a loud thud on the ground.
Okay. This is the chapter. Chapter 18. No, the end of chapter 17 where they're watching that I applauded the return of Cormac McCarthy R.L. Stein.
Okay.
So on page 108 for everyone reading along. Somewhere down the block, a dog barked. I hoped he wasn't barking because of Aaron and me. Another dog, closer to us, quickly joined in, and it became a barking conversation. And then Aaron asked, "Are you high enough?" Sorry. That's, you know, I go from super serious to like, are you high enough?
Yeah.
You want to get small?
That's all Aaron wanted to do. It used to be fun, Lucy, when you get high, but now
you're small.
I thought you were going to make a reference to the Cormac style of writing earlier on when Lucy's running away and then she stops to like catch her breath and a car full of kids pass by and they yell out something to her, but she doesn't hear and she doesn't look up.
I don't remember that.
I just thought it was like, well, it's got to be something mean because she doesn't have any friends in this town and she looks like a fool just running, just booking it.
Like Forrest Gump.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder what those kids said. You think it's the same car full of kids that just drove by the softball game in Say Cheese and Die and didn't stop?
They're just constantly driving.
Constantly driving. And
there's a red balloon
stopping.
in the back seat.
Yeah, so where were we? Lucy falls on the ground. Thud. Mortman sees her, and Aaron ran away. Just leaves her.
Fucking ditches her.
Yeah. She poorly talks her way out of what she was doing there by saying that she's going to be late for her next meeting, that ranger meeting, but she wanted to come by and tell him personally. Mortman insisted that she come inside and that he would call her parents, but she declined and ran away.
Yeah, that's not suspicious.
I think she met up with Aaron a little later, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I was around the whole time. I was going to call the police. You okay?"
No, totally.
So you ditched me.
Yep.
Aaron. You dirty ditcher. Before her next Reading Rangers meeting, because she is going to another one, she pleads with her mom to let her stay home. But this is where her mom drops some hard truths on her. She's a quitter, Nick.
Oh, she's such a quitter.
And she's lazy. And that's why she's never going to become anything. And that's why her parents have already given up on her.
Yep. They're focusing all, like, they screwed up so badly with Lucy, now they're just focusing on Randy.
Yeah. And they don't want Lucy talking to Randy, filling his head with trash, with garbage, with Lucy.
They're gonna lock her in the attic.
Yes.
Feed her fish heads, and you know.
And that's a courtesy they're giving her.
Yeah. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they even called Lucy herself a monster.
Yeah. Lucy hopes that Mr. Mortman chews her to bits, just to teach her mom a lesson. So she's
she's got the death pity fantasy.
Yeah.
Which is a thing.
Yeah. Now, is that the same thing as there'll be story after I kill myself? Is that the same kind of thing, like a suicidal thing, or is it more like
kind of? I mean, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, you know, a lot of people are just like, because I don't think she's suicidal.
no?
But it's just like, oh, I hope I get hurt enough that like I'm in the hospital and everyone will be so sorry that I'm there, and like they'll be all like, it'll be a pity party.
Yeah, everyone. My parents, Aaron, the librarian.
Not the librarian.
No, not the librarian. Well, I don't have very many people who care about me.
He came by on
You know what? This monster really probably cares about me the most.
Jesus Christ.
So, at the library, Mortman waits for everyone to leave and then locks them in together, saying that he knows that she knows, and he ain't going to let her leave. He inflated himself into the monster again, and then he came after her. Yeah. Lucy ran. Ended up in a dead end.
Yeah, so, but what does she do?
Okay, well, this is an accident, right? She's at the end of the aisle, and at this point she should have been killed. But a card catalog topples over.
Yeah. And
ridiculous.
Okay, but then he has to stop to pick them all up?
Yeah, Mr. Morton screams out in an angry cry of protest. The horror of it all. Librarians hate disorganization. And Lucy realizes this.
This is what tied into my thing before.
Okay, yeah.
So there is a vampire lore, like the lore of vampires.
Okay.
If one is chasing you, if you spill a sack of rice, they have to stop.
Yeah?
Get down on their knees.
What?
And count each grain of rice.
Why?
It's just a thing.
Has this ever been shown?
I've never seen it in a movie.
Okay.
But it is part of, like, vampiric lore. And so that ties in earlier with, whatever it was I was saying. Oh, right, the mirrors and the invisibility.
You're thinking it might be closer to a vampire.
I'm not saying that that's what he is. Like, he's not a blood-sucking fiend, but, like...
But it comes from something.
It's got those elements.
Yeah. That's really a very strange thing to be in vampire lore. Just having to count every grain of rice. What does he do afterwards?
Well, once he's counted it, then he can continue. It's a compulsion.
Yeah. Does he have to pick up the rice, or does he just count it, like slide it over, but leave it on the floor?
He's got to count them, or like he's got to pick them up one at a time, or something.
That is a very, very strange.
Well, let me blow your mind with another one that you might not know.
Yeah,
you know about the crossing running water, right?
I can understand that a little bit more. You know, because of Moses. I don't know.
Moses a vampire?
Well, he had the...
I'd read that Old Testament.
Yeah, well, they never said he wasn't.
He was the one at night going and finding all the firstborn sons.
We tried to tell him, the blood of one man will equal the blood of like 20 babies.
But... No. I want your firstborn sons.
Well, all right.
That's why he had all those magic powers.
Yeah. So yes, Nick, though he may be a monster...
he's still a librarian.
Yeah, in his heart.
All four of them.
Lucy is able to escape with ease now as Mortman organizes the spilled cards. She's running. Aaron now catches up with her. It turns out that, you know what, Aaron cared about her at least enough to spy on her and the librarian. See, like, what are they doing together? I found this to be...
a fuckboy.
What? What?
He's just a dick.
Oh, okay. Well, no, he's kind of saving her life right now. Well, you know what? Well, he did not help her at all. No. He just ran out of there when he had an opportunity to as well. But he now knows the truth, and they run back to Lucy's place to tell her parents. And the parents actually seem to believe the story when it's not coming from their horrid little child.
Yeah.
When they hear it from Aaron...
they're like, oh, shit just got real.
Sorry, we didn't believe you, Lucy. Can see now that we wish Aaron was our child. So how do they plan to deal with this? They decide to invite Mortman over for dinner. Lucy protests.
I see what he did there.
Yeah. But their parents assure her that it is the only way. Now, Nick, there's only one chapter left. Do you know what her parents were doing? What the plan was here? Why?
I made a note.
Morton over?
I made a note that it was like, oh God. They're all going to be monsters, aren't they? The entire town is going to be monsters, and Lucy doesn't know it.
Oh, okay. So you were still shocked.
I believe my last note here, that is just, what?
Oh, I see it all in caps, too.
Yeah.
Real good stuff, Nick. Well, let's get into that. So later that week, Mr. Mortman came by for dinner with a bouquet of flowers and wearing lime green trousers and a bright